Welcome to KENYAN DOCTALES. My name is Dr. Luziana. Today I want to talk about TB of the abdomen. Most people would say TB of the stomach. You know, everything below the chest and above the pelvis, people call it stomach, but it's actually called abdomen. Now, that leaves people a bit confused. TB of the abdomen? I thought TB was supposed to be in the chest. True, most TB is in the chest. And by the way, TB has been an illness that has been with us for a long, long time. And the ministry has fought this disease by giving free medication. By the way, people cannot afford treatment for TB. It's so very expensive. If people are let alone to buy it, they would not afford. And TB would spread like a bushfire. How does TB spread? Let me give you a funny story. Once, when I was a little girl, I went visiting my auntie in a far, far off place from home. And when it was time to go home, she gave me into the care of a family friend who was going towards my home. And she saved on time, she saved on money, and that was good. But she called me aside and told me, when you get home, mark the cup that he uses and tell your mother to boil it because his family has TB. That's funny when you think about it today, because TB is not passed on by using cups. TB is spread by droplet inhalation, as in when somebody has TB, coughs or sneezes or even talks, he releases the TB, the bacteria that causes TB, into the air, and anybody around can inhale it. So I was traveling with this man in his car, and my auntie didn't know that I was in greater danger traveling in his car than using a cup that he had used. Anyway, that was a myth. Now, just recently, the story that I recall to mind is a little girl who went to see a pediatrician with a swollen belly. Now, she had been treated by various people in various health facilities, from private clinics to dispensaries, and they all treated for worms, they treated for typhoid, they treated for malaria, they treated for anything that can cause an enlarged belly. But when this pediatrician saw the girl and heard the history and examined the child, his first impression was TB of the abdomen. So he did the relevant tests, and he actually confirmed the child had TB of the abdomen. He instituted the management, and that girl did well. Now, what other parts can be affected by TB? TB can affect any part of your body except your hair, your teeth, and your nails. So it can go to the skin, it can go to the liver, it can go to the back where it causes a lot of havoc in a spinal column. Spinal column can collapse and cause paralysis because of TB. It can go into your brain and cause TB meningitis. TB can go anywhere. So how do we handle TB? Long ago, treatment for TB was very, very tedious. It used to be 2 months of daily injections and then 16 months of medication, a total of 18 months. It was tedious and people would not complete their treatment. So anybody who absconded on TB would be taken very seriously. Sometimes it took the intervention of a judge, and they would actually be jailed for the period of treatment so that they complete their treatment. And why was that so important? After all, it's his problem. I mean, if he wants to die, he can die. The problem is he will not die alone. He will infect me, he will infect you, he will infect the next person. And not just with normal TB, but with TB resistant to medication. So that is why it was so very important for these people to finish their medication. In the pastoral communities, where they move from place to place, the health system came up with manyata treatment. So they would follow the manyatas everywhere they went. So they treat the people who have TB. It's a very serious illness, but we have managed to control it. One way we have managed to control it is, as I have said, making sure that anybody who has TB gets treatment. Another way is by BCG vaccination. If you are a Kenyan and look at your outer arm, you will get a scar. That scar you got at birth, because every Kenyan baby gets immunization with BCG. That's Bacille of Calmette and Guarin, BCG. And it has controlled TB in an amazing manner. So TB is now under control. Once in a while you will get it, but it's basically under control. And I want to thank the health system because of the efforts that they made. Stay safe, clear of TB. If you're in public vehicles, get enough ventilation, open the windows, so that anybody who has TB, their droplets will be swept away by the breeze, and you'll be safe. See you in the next video. Remember to share, to subscribe, and to like. Thank you.